This is outrageous from Pragnananda. Prepare for a game that is literally 99% accuracy. Three brilliant moves, the second of which just blew my mind, and a checkmating combination to finish. Now, the details of the game. He's playing in London, but not in the invitation event. He's at the side, FIDE Open. He dominates the field on rating by like 100 points. And this is the kind of smashing that he can dish out. Poor Eldar Gasanov of Ukraine. What did he do to deserve this? He runs into d4 from Prague. It's a classical chess time control. We get a standard Queen's Gambit declined. What could possibly go wrong? We've seen all of this many times. Castles, Bishop d3, Rook e8, and now a choice for white. This is the standard looking knight development, but Prague plonks it here. Why? Well, he's now going to play for f3, e4 and get the big white centre. Now, you could go pawn to c ships, but instead the knight develops. Castles, knight on f8, no mate. It's rotating round. The queen heads into the game. h6 kicks this bishop. It drops back, and now we see it. The Carlsbad pawn structure. Is it spelt with a K or a C? Nobody knows, driven many grandmasters insane. Now, does Prague play pawn f3 here, going for a central plan? You absolutely can. No, he plays pawn a4. Now, what's that all about? I saw on X or Twitter, Grandmaster Matthew Sadler saying, it's clamping on pawn b5. Then I saw Jerry from the Chess Network saying, no, he wants to run it down, try and soften up c6, and if black plays a5 like we see in this game, well, now when you go for the f3 e4 plan, it discourages this kind of break, pawn to c5, fighting back against the d pawn, because you give up this massive square and you start running into some problems. Not to mention, by the way, the d pawn's very tender in many lines if you push the c pawn. It's deep stuff, it's engine prep, it's modern chess, rook ad1's natural, and now if you're under fire, set up the bathtub. It's overpowered. Maybe you hint at c5, but it never quite comes. Prophylactic chess from Pragnananda, stepping off the long diagonal. Many chess players take prophylaxis to the next level. They wear goggles to avoid any spittle or debris in the eye. Here's Magnus and Hans showing us the way. Now we see this bishop develop here, and bishop f5. It opens the eyes of the rook to defend the d pawn. Prepares e4, puts a bit of niggly pressure on this diagonal. You know, rook c8 doesn't sit so comfortable anymore. And the best way to play here, bishop a6 apparently. Who's doing that when you just put the bishop on b7? Knight h5, a more common human idea. You often see black go for this exchange, but knight g5 played. It's given the question mark. Of course, Prague finds the best move. It's that thrust in the centre. But what's fascinating about this is, what are you doing after pawn g6 played in the game? Because you've got no retreat move. If you head this way, you get smashed off by one of the knights. Obviously can't go this way. So what does Prague do? Bishop takes on g6. The first brilliant move. The audience are going nuts. Pawn recaptures and e5 reveals the attacking point. You hit this knight and the queen's also going to crash through. If you try and save the piece, a line like this where you go for the fianchetto, well, the trouble is the white pieces flood into the attack. Let me just show one sample line here. You can even play very slowly, something like this. Bring the knight round. I mean, it's awful. Many different such lines. This is just one sample. The pieces flow. These ones aren't participating in the defense. So we don't see the knight saved. Instead, the king steps to defend the pawn. This was more accurate, apparently. But who wants to step into a pin? This was played. Does Prague take the piece? No siree. Knight f4. I mean, almost every move at the moment you can call brilliant. He's going to crash through again if you try and save the piece. So you do have to go rook g8 to defend. Now he gobbles on f6. Bishop recaptures. And honestly, this move is stunning. This is my favourite of the three brilliant moves. What do you think Prague played here? Knight e4. I mean, that is absolutely beautiful. It's like watching Fedoseev practicing his hover chess. Many grandmasters do it to visualize a game of chess when they're at home on their own. Dramatically improves your rating. In fact, speaking of which, it is Black Friday. It's the Remote Chess Academy. If you want to finally make that push for 2000, do check out the link in the description. No better way to do it than with this course. It'll teach you how to think like a grandmaster. Color complexes, piece exchanges, initiative, positional play versus tactical play. Really good courses. So much for your money. And they only do this discount like 3 times a year. Black Friday, Igor Smirnov's birthday. He's the grandmaster who does it. And then maybe Father's Day or something. So get in there while it lasts. What's the point of this move? If pawn captures, then there's 3 things at play. Number 1, after pawn takes back, you've opened the rook on the king. Number 2, there's these deadly checks down the open diagonal now, converging with the knight after bishop takes here. And number 3, you've got 2 pawns running. The lines are so deep that I don't want to show everything, but best defense is to try and cover this square. Then you can run through the center like this. This is top engine line. Who's saying that a human's going to find this? You know, you can't really take here, or else takes with check, and the queen drops. This is pressuring here and threatening to come through if you take the rook. So we're just going to show some quick sample lines. Okay, there you drop a queen. Say you go queen d7. Now you push through. You know, this is just some of the themes at play, right? You could take the bishop or even queen f2 and attack. Now, I can't show you everything, but that's the general concept of takes. What you actually then do, all the lines of attack you open. So the bishop dropped back. It's actually a really nice defensive try from Eldar here, because now, how again are you intensifying the pressure? Neither of these can take here, or pawn recaptures. And you're kicking back the pieces, even winning a piece if you were taking with this knight. So the move is knight f2. I mean, how do you go from that brilliance to just calmly retreating and it be the top engine move? Bishop d6, and I think this is the only one move of the game which isn't like top engine line. Prague here plays the knight back to d3. So natural, it was attacked, he's headed for e5. You could have technically also played into g4. Maybe this was top move. I don't know, my engine's not deep enough here. Queen d7 played. Mistake. It's right to put it on this diagonal, but stronger on c8. You're going to see why. f4, incredible move. And you want to play knight e4, of course you do. But then takes, and check. And this is why the queen was better on c8. Because with the queen on c8, now you can step to g7 and you don't open lines. Remember, this queen's here in this hypothetical. As it is in the game, because the queen's going to drop. Sorry, this is the analysis. But in this version of the game, now you're forced to take. You open up the attack. You could take with this one as well, of course. But both are strong and the pieces flood in. Let's pause it there. We didn't see knight e4. Knight back, but now knight g4. Beautiful. Converging. You're going to lose the queen if you don't do something fast. So king g7, of course. Check. King goes and f5. Excuse me. And of course, everything now. All of the theses are just plowing into the attack. It's brutal. Knight f8 was tried to guard things. If you take the pawn, then you jump in. And there's now a pin on this pawn. And it's just going to drop. Something like this, right? This is one of the most beautiful ways to win it. A bit swashbuckling. Let's run back. No pawn takes. We saw this one instead. Desperate defense. What do you play here? Obviously, Prague finds the best move. Bishop e5. And with that, you've just threatened another mammoth fork here. So we saw bishop e7 to try and cover. The queen didn't even get out the forking way. Takes with check. Don't take with the knight, or now the rook runs in. Check. King can't move. So you have to block, and you're getting windmilled. This is a mate very soon. What's the line? Okay, this is a mate. Just the most stunning game. So rook takes was played. Check anyway. Here, only move unless you're going to start giving up a rook. And now the final brilliancy of the game. It doesn't get the double exclam, but it is a brilliancy. Finishes it on the spot. Can you find it? Knight takes on h6. Check. And we saw resigns. Because if rook captures, only move, then you check. Once again, you're in the windmill tactic. Now the quickest, most engine way to win is queen c1, threaten the mate in 2, and it's mate in 11 moves from there, apparently. But also, you can just do this. Check. It's good enough. It's a human way to win, and you're now what? An entire queen up for a rook, plus still attacking, you know, something like this. Let's say, quick sample line of how you could deliver the kill. There we go. Unbelievable game by Prague. How he's not in the main section, no clue, but he's bossing it in the open. Hope you enjoyed. Check out the Remote Chess Academy. Very limited time only. Such good courses. And have a look at the video on screen for another incredible game of chess. Thanks a lot. Cheers.